Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei DxD vs Experience Horror and Fran Terrifier movie. Before we start, please go support Issei1702 for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Issei is a male. A stranger. Chapter 1, Issei Fran. Aya, what a dream I had. Well, it's time to go to Vu, said a brown-haired boy with red eyes, dressed in a black shirt with a drawing of a dragon's skull, blue pants and black shoes. It was Issei DxD, and he was currently tied to a hospital stretcher? What the hell? Why the hell am I tied to a hospital gurney? Said Issei DxD, upset. Well, it seems you've woken up, said a voice familiar to the genocidal maniac. It was Rebellion. Boss? You were caught too, have you become weak? Said Issei DxD, mocking his boss. Shut up, idiot! Besides, you're also tied to this damn stretcher. I don't know what it's made of, said Rebellion, trying to free himself. You can, ha ha ha. It's useless to free yourself from these stupid chains, said Issei DxD. Ha ha, how funny. If only I had enough strength to shoot your stupid empty head, said a voice familiar to the genocidal. It was a boy who had a black skull-shaped mask. It was Deathshot. Wow, hello my friend, how's life going? Said Issei DxD. Don't say that as if it were the most normal thing in the world. All the members of the Dark Order are tied to these hospital stretchers, said Death, and DxD saw the other members tied to hospital stretchers. There were Dr. Fear, Hunter, Cruz Issei, Zero Issei, and Shio Kobe. Oh wow, that's true, ha ha, said Issei DxD, laughing. Suddenly, the lights came on, revealing a kind of laboratory, but it wasn't an ordinary one. It was one where experiments and human experiments were carried out. Inside the vases were human organs, a kind of giant capsule, hospital instruments, and surgical gowns. And this, Issei DxD said, looking around, and a song would play out of nowhere. Where does that song come from? Rebellion said, having a bad feeling. Wow, I thought you'd never wake up, said a voice familiar to the members of the Dark Order. On the other side they saw a boy with brown hair, honey-colored eyes. He had scars on his face, one almost crossing his left eye, a large one crossing his entire mouth. He had giant screws in his head. He was wearing a surgical gown and a face mask. Just imagine it's Issei. You're an Issei, Rebellion said in surprise. Of course my name is Issei, but some of you know me as Fran, said Issei Fran, introducing himself. Fran like Frankenstein, ha ha ha, Issei laughed DxD. You know it's not good to make fun of other people, it makes me sad, said Issei Fran, about to cry. Hey, we don't have time for this, free us from these stupid stretchers, said Death. I'm sorry, but I can't do that, said Issei Fran. Why not, you damn fifth-rate Frankenstein, said Rebellion. Because you are valuable specimens. I have never seen genes like these in my life. You are perfect to be my experiments. Test subjects? Experiments? I will not be a guinea pig, Rebellion said, trying to break free. I'm sorry, but those stretchers absorb your strength and magic. I also put some gravity ruins on your wrists. You'll feel like you're carrying a 50-pound weight, said Issei Fran. Also, don't interrupt me because I'm working, said Issei Fran. The Dark Order saw that Issei Fran was gutting the organs and cutting off the arms of a white-haired Issei. It was Issei the monster, and he had a face full of pain. What? Rebellion said in shock. This taking out an Issei's organs, said Death in shock. Te matari, said Issei the monster. You're not the only one who told me that, said Issei Fran, confusing the Dark Order. Oh, I forgot, you are not the only ones here. I also met several people outside the forest, said Issei Fran. At that moment, more lights would turn on, more people tied to stretchers, and some hanging on the wall with straitjackets on. How can you be alive? Said a voice familiar to the genocidal. In the background he saw a black-haired boy hanging and wearing a straitjacket. A long time no see now for me, said Issei DxD. Damn you, how can you be alive? I killed you and that girl sent you to that dimension, Naofumi said. No lose, maybe Pokemon magic, said Issei DxD, mocking the shield hero. Damn it, if only I could get out of this stupid straitjacket, Naofumi said, trying to free himself. Hey, calm down, relax. I don't want one of my test subjects to have tense blood vessels, Issei Fran said to Naofumi. Issei Chio-chan, said an Issei with a scar on his neck. He was wearing a straitjacket and locked in a room. Tu-chan, Shio said in shock when he saw the Issei. Yes, it's me, Shio-chan. I'm locked in this room. If only I could get out of this room, said Yandere Issei, hitting the window with his body. Stop it, I don't want you to break that glass, said Issei Fran, and the Yandere Issei ignored him. Ah, how stressful, said Issei Fran. He took a button out of his bag and started pressing it. Yandere Issei would start to get electrocuted and fall. Until he finally shut up. That boy who looked like me hasn't stopped hitting the window and saying Shio-chan. I knew it was a good idea to lock him in that room and put him in a straitjacket, said Issei Fran. Another Issei, hey brat, did you know that Issei? Said Issei VG. Yes, he was my Tu-chan, but he died in front of my eyes, said Shio, remembering his world. Poor you brat, said Issei VG, and looked around the lab to find certain people. Oh no, you are boss mine, said Issei VG, surprised to see his loved ones being in the same situations. Issei, they both said when they saw him. Wait, the gray-haired one? Said Issei VG upon seeing Issei Null. Hello VG, Issei Null said. Gray-haired? You were also captured, said Issei VG. You're not the only one, look in the background on the right, said Issei Null. VG looked to the right and saw Basara tied to a hospital gurney, another Issei hanging and being held in, another boy hanging and wearing a straitjacket. A girl was in the same condition. Damn, if only Venom was here with me, said the hanging Issei. It was Issei Venom. Damn, how the hell did I end up here? Said the boy also. It was Rito Carnage. Damn it, said a girl with light blue and white hair. It was Ain Anti-Venom. Wow, it's another Issei and two people I don't know, said Issei VG. Nissan, said a voice familiar to Venom. On the right side of the genocidal was a boy with brown hair, purple eyes. He was hanging on the wall. He was wearing a straitjacket. He had laughter on his face. Yamato, said the three boys hanging. Hello Nissan, how long has it been? Yamato said happily. How can you be alive if I killed you? Said Issei Venom, remembering his fight against Yamato. Maybe my love is so great that death doesn't want to take me to the other world, Yamato said happily. Damn you, I'll kill you once and for all when I get rid of this STRIGHTJCKT, Issei said, Venom trying to free himself. I'm sorry, but you can't kill him. Just like you, he's a valuable specimen. His cells seem like they're out of this world. Unlike the regenerative cells that I know, these cells can regenerate regardless of the damage. Thanks to that, I can dissect him and remove organs without any problem, no matter how many organs I remove. New organs will appear. Thanks to that, I can dissect him as many times as I want, no matter what mistake I make, said Issei Fran as if it were nothing. You're bucking crazy, you're crazy, Ain said to Issei Fran. Relax, you're going to do the next ones. After all, your cells aren't from this world either. I wonder what your organs are like, and the skin you have is something that is beyond my knowledge, said Issei Fran, leaving the three in shock. Of all the Isseis I've met, you're the craziest, Issei VG said to Issei Fran. Oh really, thank you very much, Issei Fran said happily. Well, I'm done with this guy. Guys, put the specimen in the corpse room. I got what I wanted, said Issei Fran, putting a kind of liver in a jar. Wait, is he dead? Said Issei VG. No, he's not dead, he's just unconscious. Well now, said Issei Fran to applaud. PLAF. Large people came out of the doors, hiding their bodies in a suit. They were Issei Fran's assistants. Hey, where to? Said Issei VG. Hey, let me go, Rebellion said. Let me go, said Deathshot. Everyone was complaining about Issei Fran's assistants, and he spoke. Take them along with the others, to the operating room, said Issei Fran with a big smile. Hey, drop me off where you're taking me, said Issei Venom. 5 minutes later. Now the Dark Order, along with the S.H.I.E.L.D. hero, The Yandere Issei and the three symbiote were on a day of operations along with some people they never wanted to see in their lives. Oh gosh, if it isn't the damn Gremory clan, Citri, Bale, Phoenix and Agars, said Issei DxD irritated when he saw the 5 clans. And the damn Azazel along with his gang of crows and the stupid Ryanair, said Issei DxD looking at the Grigory. The damn doves, said Issei DxD watching Michael and Gabriel. The damned hero faction, said Issei DxD upon seeing Chow Chow and the other members. Vala's stupid team, said Issei DxD upon seeing Vala's team. And Rizavim's old man, Issei said upon seeing Rizavim. Wow, I think the same, I didn't expect to see them either, said a voice similar to that of the genocide. Next to him was a white-haired boy with an eye patch on his left eye and a black arm. It was Issei Godslayer. Wow, I didn't expect to see you, your dear family, said Issei DxD seeing that you, Mio and Sayo were there. If he is the genocidal man and it seems your band of evil Issei has been captured by this Issei, said Godslayer. What happened to you? You've become weak after being tricked and turning them into your pets, said Issei DxD mocking Godslayer. Shut up, you crazy bastard, I would have gladly killed him but I passed out in a forest and woke up on a hospital gurney, Godslayer said angrily. All the specimens are gathered, prepared the anesthesia and surgical instruments, Issei Fran ordered his assistants. Wait, what are you planning to do with us? Said Issei DxD. Oh, I haven't said it, but I plan to create something that the teacher will be proud of me, Issei said happily. What are you going to do? A monster? Said Issei Godslayer. No, I plan to create a homunculus, said Issei Fran, leaving those present in shock. A homunculus? Are you planning to play God? Said Rebellion. I've been thinking about it for a long time. I can revive the dead, I can create monsters from corpses and animals, modify the human body beyond the knowledge of the most famous doctors, remove malignant tumors without any problem and create clones to my liking. That can be called playing God, said Issei Fran. I'm going to see with my own eyes the flesh and blood of demons, angels, fallen, heroes, vampires, dragons, unknown and immortal beings. I will create a homunculus from their blood and flesh. Of course I will take out some organs, said Issei Fran with a big smile, and from his gown came out 6 arms, and these grabbed the surgical instruments. No, it can't be, said Issei Venom. Relax, the positive side is that you will be the parents of a tender and peaceful baby, said Issei Fran. Rot! I'll never have a baby with the ones I hate the most my whole life, Issei DxD said. You should stay quiet, Issei Fran said to inject him with anesthesia. Well, let the operation begin, Issei Fran said with all excitement, and raising his instruments. 16 hours later. Hey Issei, creating monsters again, said a boy with a cat body. Oh Okita, I'm not creating monsters, I'm just creating a homunculus, said Issei Fran as he took out Issei DxD's digestive system, dissected Rias and the others were unconscious. Isn't that too much for a homunculus? Okita said, sweating. 1 year later. It's been a year since I met those guys and those similar to me. I made them live with the others, but some of them fight and end up dying, but thanks to me they stay alive. The only stable relationship would be that girl named Shio and the boy similar to me. The homunculus has progressed very well. Although it had some complications at first, I managed to stabilize it, and now it is safe and sound in my arms. A baby has been born that is not human or a demon, or an angel, or a fallen one, or a vampire, or a dragon, or a god, or an unknown being, or even an immortal. What are you, little one? Issei Fran said while carrying a baby and walking through the halls. Hey guys, how life gives you, Issei Fran said as if nothing had happened and all the specimens were tied up and hung. What do you mean, okay? We're strapped to these hospital beds, said Rebellion. Oh come on, don't be like that. Look at your child born, it's a boy, said Issei Fran showing the baby. That's not a baby, that's a damn homunculus created from the people who tricked me, Godslayer said. Oh come on, don't be like that, calling your son a monster, that's being a bad father, Issei Fran said, crying. I want to see the baby, said Issei Venom. Ah, how good that someone understands. You are happy that your son was born, said Issei Fran approaching Issei Venom. Come closer, said Issei Venom, and Fran nodded. Yes, I have something to tell you, said Issei Venom. What? Issei Fran said, and Die! Issei Venom shouted and bit Issei Fran's neck, causing a spurt of blood and making Issei Fran's head separate from his body. Hey, that's what you get for capturing us, said Issei Venom. You killed him, now how do we get out of here? Said Issei VG. Calm down, we'll find a way to. He was interrupted by someone. Initiating operation, Issei Fran said, and his arms moved. It's repairing itself, said Issei Godslayer. They thought they could kill me vvvesly, said Issei Fran stuttering. His face was bleeding, but the creepy thing was his smile. This deserves a punishment, Issei Fran said, and the assistants left carrying the specimens. I swear that one day I'll kill you, I swear, Issei Venom shouted. Try it, you can't do anything, said Issei Fran. Operating room. It's time to start the operation, Issei Fran said with a big smile. No. Chapter 2, Part 1. The work I had was too much, my boss always sending me too much work, said a blond boy in a suit walking in the neighborhood late at night. It was Kiba Yuto. I hope nothing bad happens to me, Kiba said uncomfortably as he walked. At that moment he saw a girl with long white hair in the background. She was wearing a white dress that looked great on her figure. She was holding a smashed stuffed rabbit and an almost broken umbrella. She was sitting on the garbage bags. A girl dressed as a Lolita? What's she doing here in this place at this late hour? Kiba said upon seeing her. Seeing the girl made her feel uncomfortable. A bad feeling ran through her whole body. I'll just ignore her and walk away like I've never seen him before, Kiba said, walking slowly, and she managed to pass. That girl is very dirty. What is that liquid on her clothes and surrounding her? Are her wrists sewn? Did she cut herself? Kiba thought when he saw her. Hey, do you have a younger sister? Said the girl, looking at Kiba closely, causing Kiba to shiver. Yes, I have, said Kiba, scared by the girl's tone. It was cold and dark. Kiba just continued on his way until he reached his apartment. Hey, don't play in front of other people's houses, Kiba said to the girl, but out of nowhere she disappeared without a trace. What was that? Kiba said, confused. The next day. Damn, I can't do this part right, said Kiba, sitting at her table and looking at her computer. Good afternoon, Kiba-kun, said a voice. He saw a girl with long black hair, glasses, and strong pink eyes. Era, are you having trouble doing your job? Said a girl with long black hair tied in a ponytail and pink eyes. Hello, Tsubaki-san, hello, Akeno, said Kiba, the name of the two girls. Well, yes, I am having some problems, but now I am learning them, said Kiba. Okay, fine, but if you feel stressed, take this, Akeno said, showing her a DVD of a girl in Lolita clothes. You know I don't have those fetishes, Kiba said in a monotonous tone. OVSMLS having a beautiful younger sister named Shana-chan, anyone wouldn't hold back, said Akeno. You know how Akeno is, just ignore her. If you have a problem, just tell me, said Tsubaki. Now if you excuse me, I'll go to work, Tsubaki said as she left. Era, I'll also lend you the DVD if you change your mind, said Akeno in farewell. Kiba watched the DVD Akeno gave him and remembered the Lolita-dressed girl from last night. At night. Damn, all the trash is piled up, I should take it out first, said Kiba to take out the trash. I don't want to be scolded by the landlady again, Kiba said, a little annoyed. Kiba went outside to take out the trash, when he saw the girl dressed as a Lolita sitting. Is she here again? Kiba said upon seeing the girl. Just jump into the container and I'll get out of here quickly, said Kiba, tossing the trash into the container. The blonde just threw the trash quickly and left the place. Crack. The sound of something breaking could be heard. Kiba suspected it was a garbage bag falling. Did it fall because I threw the trash? Kiba thought when he saw the container. At that, the Lolita girl stared at Kiba. It was a cold look. My precious Keiichi is dirty, said the girl, showing a stuffed rabbit all dirty and destroyed. He's very important to me, he's not supposed to get dirty, the girl said. That's your fault, Kiba said as he left the place. Seriously, what's wrong with people these days? Kiba complained. The blonde was about to close it, but a hand prevented him from closing it. Hey! What is this? Said Kiba, scared. Kiba tried to close the door, but a stuffed rabbit appeared at his door. Look, he didn't get clean, even when I shook him, the girl said. Kiba froze, and the girl took advantage of this to enter. He likes being clean, being dirty stresses him out, so this screaming, the girl shouted, making Kiba cover his ears. Okay, but don't shout, raise your voice. Okay, the bathroom is on the right, Kiba said to the girl. Thank you, how kind of you, said the girl, going to the bathroom. The mysterious girl washed the stuffed animal with all her might. A black liquid dripped down the stuffed animal, a strong and unpleasant smell. Doesn't it feel good? Are you happy, said the girl, laughing. The next morning. It was terrible. It took me all morning to clean up the mess that a Lolita girl made, Kiba said to his two friends. A girl dressed as a Lolita came to your apartment? Tsubaki said. Era, how unexpected. Who is she? Said Akeno. I don't know, but she's a crazy person, said Kiba. She sure has her personal problems, said Tsubaki. Kiba-kun, call me next time you see her, Akeno said. You, said Rasweiss. Well, let's get back to work, said Tsubaki, continuing with her work. Okay, said Akeno. Hours later. Kiba was now walking all over Tokyo Square. Have you heard that legend? Said a girl in uniform. The story about the strange Lolita, said the girl, making Kiba stop. At midnight a girl dressed as a Lolita appears and asks you a question. If you ask that question, she will become your little sister. Then she will say that she has found an older brother, and finally she will give you a twisted death, the girl finished. That's horrifying, said the girl's friend. Hey, what are you doing? Akeno said to Kiba. An urban legend, it can't be. Kiba walked towards his apartment and met the Lolita girl. There she is. If something happens, I'll hit her, Kiba whispered. The blonde just walked past and the girl spoke. Thanks for yesterday. My Keiichi is very happy, the girl said to Rasweiss. She couldn't finish because he would be in front of her. Seriously, what's wrong with that Lolita girl? It's good that I confronted her, said Kiba. Well, I'll go to sleep now, Kiba said to sleep. At night. The door to Kiba's apartment opened. It was hated to see a shadow enter the apartment. The shadow arranged Kiba's clothes and even his blanket. The Lolita girl looked at Kiba sleeping. You are kind, said the Mirabi girl. Chapter 3, Mai-chan DxD Part 1. Nice to meet you. You'll wonder who I am. I can only tell you that I don't have a name. You can call me whatever you want, and I am a being that was created from the hatred, resentment, and other negative emotions of the Celestials, their toys, and my brother Issei 1702. You don't know who I am, but I know who you are. You are a spectator who is going to see my universe. I don't know how to feel happy or angry. I don't know, anyway. I hope you like these universes that I'm creating. If you don't like them, you can go see another universe. That's what you know how to do, right? You like to see Issei, Rias, Akeno, Kaneko, Kiba, Asia, Zenobia, Gasper, Rasweiss, and the other DxD characters suffer and the suffering of other people, right? Answer me this question. Do you hate Issei, Rias, Akeno, Kaneko, Kiba, Asia, Zenobia, Gasper, Rasweiss, and the other DxD characters? Is that why you like seeing them suffer? If so, thank you for creating me, Father. Okay, enough talking. I hope you like this universe and the others I'm creating. I hope we meet again. I'm the happiest person in the world, said a brown-haired man with honey-colored eyes. He was wearing an academy uniform. He was jumping while smiling. It was Issei Hayadu. This moment deserves to be heard by a happy song, said Issei to play a song from his cell phone. POV Issei. My name is Hayadu Issei, and you'll probably be wondering why I'm so happy. It's because in these last few months I've met a beautiful maid. Her beautiful short hair combined and tied in a red bow, green eyes like a beautiful emerald. Her maid outfit fits her perfectly. Her name is Mai-chan. I met her at a restaurant with my two friends, Kiba and Gasper. As always, we talked about boy stuff like video games or girls, but when our dear friend Gasper's stomach was growling just like ours, signaling that we were hungry, luckily a restaurant was near us and without hesitation we went in. Lucky for us there was one available. And that's when I saw her. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. When I saw her, I felt butterflies in my stomach, my chest raced at the sight of her, and my face was flushed. Was that what people felt? Was it love? After a few weeks, I understood, it was love. At first I didn't have the courage to tell her, but one day I gathered the courage to do it. I asked her if she wanted to go out with me and her answer was yes. And without hesitation she kissed me. It was so relaxing, it was like kissing an angel. On his days off we would always spend time in the park, playing arcade games, watching movies at the cinema and getting something to eat. Until that day finally arrived, the day I would lose my innocence and become a man. It was the best day of my life and I will remember it for the rest of my life. How is Mai-chan? I hope she's free. I want to go to the cosplay parade with her, I said happily. But Mai-chan, my dear girlfriend, wasn't there. I asked one of the waitresses and she told me she was shopping. That took me by surprise, and I felt something in my chest. I felt distressed and angry. It was jealousy. Without hesitation, I left the restaurant, leaving the waitress a little scared, and went to look for Mai. But people were running for no reason. They said a tiger was loose in the city. That could have made me nervous. My dear Mai-chan is somewhere in the city. Help, help! I heard a boy's voice running. Curiosity killed me and I saw something that I will never forget in my life. I saw a tiger eat a girl, but that girl looked familiar. Wait, that bun and that body, it was my Mai-chan. Her face was a mess, blood was coming out of her face, she was split in half, and her brains were scattered on the floor. The tiger was just eating her angel face like she was a simple piece of meat. Seeing that I wanted to scream and vomit but I couldn't. If I did I'm sure that tiger would hear me. I stayed hiding for only 20 minutes until someone spoke. You see, if you don't meet your curfew the tiger will eat you, Mai, was the voice of one of the maids. I stealthily saw the restaurant maid sitting on the tiger, as if nothing had happened, and next to her was Mai. She was like nothing. Her face was as it was before and her body the same. It was as if nothing was wrong with her. No, I must not be hallucinating. The best thing would be to leave here. The next day I went to the restaurant to see if Mai was doing okay. Maybe it was my imagination. 7 weeks have passed since that incident. My relationship with Mai was a bit complicated. She didn't have time to go on a date with me. She didn't tell me the reason. The only thing she knew and told me was that she had another job. I didn't know what it was, but I didn't care. Lie. I lied to my girlfriend to see what she was doing. According to what I heard from her coworker, she works in a private room. I walked silently so that no one would notice. I heard some noises. They were screams of pain and a woman's whimpers. I saw a woman who was close by. What I saw left me in shock. I watched Mai's entire body being slashed with kitchen knives, cuts all over her body, knives thrust into her entire body, arms severed, while she was trampled and raped. She screamed in pain while the men just had fun. When I saw this I just vomited when I saw that scene and I was just ready to run away from the shock. Minutes later, I was walking. I couldn't forget that scene of how they killed and raped my girlfriend. Anyone would feel disgust and sadness, but for me, I didn't feel that. Rather, I felt a little rage and anger, and at the same time disgust. How disgusting! How bitter! How disgusting! How bitter! He repeated those words over and over again. I felt a little jealous. She was my girlfriend and she cheated on me with someone. How much more had she cheated on me? How much have you cheated on me, Mai-chan? How many? I shouted angrily as I walked. I felt jealous. Jealousy. I think I'll go see her. I gave him money to go home. Chapter 4? 7, Part 1. Have you heard that? About what? A website where you earn videos just by uploading a video. Oh, sounds interesting. Let's try a dance one. Hee, what boring content. What else could I use? Said an unknown female voice. She looked at her cell phone with a big smile. Elsewhere. A group of young people could be seen talking about films and filmmakers. "Hey cameraman boy, what kind of filming do you like the most?" said one of the boys, still a blond boy who had a camera in his hands. "Well, said the boy, thinking of an answer. "Oh Saji-kun, there's someone looking for you," said a blonde girl to the blonde. "Hey, who?" said the boy identified as Saji. "It's a girl," the girl said to Saji. The boy Saji would leave the classroom to go where the girl was. Custody went to the place that was a corner of the school and saw a girl with short black hair, bright pink eyes, glasses, and was wearing an academy uniform. "Sona-senpai, why did you call me?" Saji said to the girl. "You're from the filming club, right?" "Saji-kun," the boy said, and the boy nodded. "Do you always carry that camera everywhere?" Sona said, and the boy nodded. "I just want to ask you a favor, Saji-kun. Could you please film me with that camera you have in your hand?" Sona said, a little blushing. "I've never been so excited in my life," thought Saji, blushing. Minutes later, we can see Sona and Saji in the academy pool. The girl was swimming in the pool while being filmed by Saji. "You did it! How do I look in the video?" said Sona. "You look great, beautiful," said Saji. "Let's see," said Sona, looking at the camera, having a close look at the blonde who is blushing, even more so with the swimsuit that the brunette was wearing. "As I expected from you, you are a great cameraman," said Sona. "Wait, Sona-senpai, why did you choose me?" said Saji, and the girl just smiled. "It's a secret. If you finish the 2 days of filming well, I'll tell you," Sona said in Saji's ear. "See you tomorrow," said Sona, saying goodbye to Saji. And so began the 2 years of filming towards Sona. Day 1. Saji's POV. So began the 2 days of filming for Sona-senpai. The first place was in the place where she always meets with her friends. At first they were a little scared that I would film, but thanks to Sona-senpai's explanation they left it behind, in the classrooms and during break times and even in the swimming club activities. "Hey, aren't you a little nervous?" Sona said, and she just took off her uniform, revealing a school swimsuit. "Hee bad luck," said Sona, making fun of me. She just continued swimming. When she finished she felt a big blush. She and I went into the women's bathroom. I was a little nervous, even more so that she was going to change clothes while I recorded, but no, she only put on her uniform, still having her wet swimsuit. The two of us went to her house. It was a small apartment. The first thing she did was take a bath. Of course I went with her. I was seeing her naked body very well. She cleaned every part of her body. When she finished showering she put on an apron without having anything down there. She prepared food. When she finished she went to sleep. Of course I had to record her asleep. When I looked closely at Senpai I could notice that her chest was exposed. My hand moved by itself, but with willpower I was able to stop. Day 2. Now I was in the park with Sona-senpai. She said she was waiting for someone. "It should be here soon," said Sona. At that moment, a blond boy who looked like a delinquent arrived. He was wearing a black striped shirt, shorts, and black shoes. "This is Yamato-kun from Class C," said Sona, introducing him. "Wait, are you Saji Genchiru?" Yamato said to Saji. "Do you know him?" said Sona. "Yes, he is a great friend of mine from first year. We were great friends. We always played fun games," Yamato said to Saji. At that moment, a memory of how I was bullied by Yamato and his friends came to mind. Just remembering it made my blood boil. "We're a couple," said Sona while being hugged by the delinquent boy. "I want you to film our date," Sona said. I recorded the two of them on their date, telling stories about their lives, eating ice cream, and finally, a kiss in front of the sunset. "Hey Yamato-kun, did you find the place?" said Sona. "Yeah, it was a piece of cake," Yamato said. "These are the ruins of an abandoned factory. No one will come here," said Sona. "Hey Saji-kun, we're going to have Hex, so record everything," said Sona, and Saji just nodded. At that point, the two of them took off their clothes. I saw Yamato touching every part of their bodies. I saw them getting ready to get to the main course. I thought, as I watched that scene, why am I filming something so boring? In that. Clack. I felt a jet of blood splash on my face. I saw how Sona-senpai had a tube in his hands. He was all covered in blood. Yamato had a large wound on his head. The most terrifying thing was that Sona had a smile. Yamato tried to escape, but Sona-senpai hit him several times with the tube. She crushed his skull as if it were a watermelon. She hit him, letting liters of blood flow out onto the floor. Yamato was crawling like a worm. His face was a mess. It was swollen. Blood was running from his head. He asked me for help. But before he could speak, Sona-senpai gave him the final blow, letting a ton of blood come out and his brains spill out of his head, scattering all over the floor. Sona-senpai stood up. Her white skin was covered in blood, her whole face too. The tube was all covered in blood. She looked at the camera smiling and said, "Did you film all that beauty?" Sona said with a big smile. Her face was covered in blood. "Yeah, I filmed it all. It was quite beautiful," Saji said with a big blush. It was as if he had seen something beautiful. Even a bulge in his pants was visible. "Perfect, then until next time, Saji-kun," said Sona happily. She took the corpse and then made the peace sign next to Yamato's corpse while having a big smile. "Saji-kun, film just as well for me next time, okay?" Chapter 5? 8. In a dark place being illuminated by a green spotlight, there was a girl with brown hair. On her face she was wearing a kind of mysterious object that was similar to the bear trap but different. "When I ended up here, I was going to go to my parents' house to prepare for my date with the most handsome guy," were the girl's thoughts as she looked around, seeing that she was in a bathroom or hospital room. Suddenly the television in the room turned on, showing a white doll with red eyes. He had spirals on his cheeks. His hair was slicked back. He was wearing a black tuxedo with a red bow. The doll looked at the girl. "Hello, Yuki Hayate. You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game. All your life you've been deceiving all your friends and family that your brother Issei Hayate was a rapist, a pervert and a good-for-nothing. You always believed that you were the best since your childhood and adolescence. You always showed superiority to everyone and even to supernatural beings just for having the Ascalon sword. Let's test if it's true. This is what will happen to you if you lose. The device you have is hooked to both of your jaws. When the time on the clock behind you runs out, your mouth will be permanently open, like an inverted bear trap. So I'll show you." The bear trap was seen inverted on a fake head. It was activated, leaving the head almost faceless. "There's only one key that opens the device. It's in your dead cellmate's stomach. Look around, Yuki. Believe me, I'm not lying. Quickly. Live or die, your choice. Let the games begin." "I won't die here," he thought, then abruptly moved from the chair to free himself, and he succeeded, but that triggered the trap. Yuki, upset, tried to release the trap, but it was useless. It had a padlock on the back. The girl left the trap to look around and saw the corpse of her cellmate lying on the floor. The girl grabbed the knife and went to the boy. "Wait, you are," Yuki thought when she saw him. It was the handsome boy who asked her out on a date. The girl looked at a memory that came to her. "Would you like to go out with me?" the boy said to Yuki. "Yes," said Yuki. End of memory. At that moment a memory came to him. "Would you like to go out with me?" said the boy. "Yes," said Yuki. End of memory. From the boy's pockets was an audio player, and he activated it. "If you're hearing this, Yuki, it means that you've passed the first test, which is to free yourself from the chair. As a reward, I'll tell you something. Your cellmate isn't dead but is paralyzed due to a poison that runs through his veins, and the only way to cure him is with a special antidote that is in your belly. But tell me, Yuki, who will you save, your life or your boyfriend's?" "To get tense, look at the photos that are in his other pocket," said the doll. And Yuki took out of the boy's pocket several photos of him going out and kissing other girls and even having sex with them. "Now Yuki decides, your life or the boy's. It's your decision," said the doll's voice so that we could no longer hear it. Yuki, seeing the photos, was surprised to find that the guy who asked her out was a womanizer, a cheater, and someone who wouldn't hesitate to leave a girl. Yuki, seeing that, just put on an angry expression. She wanted to scream, but because of the trap she couldn't do it. Out of nowhere the boy opened his eyes, seeing that Yuki was there. He couldn't move, but Yuki could. Yuki just grabbed the knife and then stabbed it into the boy's stomach. "I didn't want to die," the boy thought, shedding tears. The girl stabbed the boy again and again until blood flowed out and stained her hand. Yuki opened his stomach, revealing the boy's intestines. Yuki, seeing this, just put on a shocked face. She saw her hands stained with blood. She couldn't believe it. She had killed a human being. Unlike killing her enemies, it was different. The girl screamed and grabbed the lock to free herself even though it was useless, and she remembered what the doll said. Fooling all your friends and family that your brother Issei DxD was a rapist, a pervert, and a good-for-nothing. And what if he was useless, good for nothing, a shame to the DxD family. He didn't deserve the boosted gear and the Ascalon sword. My older brother deserved that sacred gear just as I deserved Ascalon. K always received everything, the love of my mother and the Gremory clan. My brother deserved everything, but they give it all to Issei. It's good that he's dead. He hated him with all his soul. He deserved death. He screamed in his mind without realizing that time was up. The trap was activated, leaving Yuki faceless. Elsewhere, a hooded man could be seen watching the scene. "Little sister, you really are an idiot," said the hooded man, watching everything from a television, and next to him was the doll that appeared on the television. Chapter 6? 9 p.m. p.m. Kill them all. I know you want to do it. You want to avenge your women, your friends and your parents, don't you? Then kill them, bathe in their blood, burn their bodies alive, crush their heads, cut off what makes them proud. To men and women, dismember their bodies. You can't deny it. Issei DxD. Issei shouted at full volume. And the sounds of birds could be heard. Not again, said Issei with a tremendous headache. Issei's POV. It's been a year since my brothers and Rias' childhood friend arrived in Qua. Maybe you don't know, but I have two brothers, Issei and Haru. They are my three older brothers. Since I was little, they always helped me with homework and played with me always. This happened until they reached the age of 19 and went to a university in another country. When I found out they were finally coming back, I was as happy as a 6-year-old boy who was given a lollipop. When they finally arrived, I was happy to have seen them for so long. They were now 22 years old. They were also accompanied by a black-haired boy with green eyes. But I didn't give that much importance. We told each other everything that happened to us. I told them everything except that I'm a supernatural being. They told me that they were always the most popular in their classes. The surprising thing was that they were always the target of several girls and boys, but they said that no boy or girl liked them. I introduced them to my girlfriend and fiancé Rias and the other girls. My brothers were surprised that I had a beautiful girlfriend and even a harem. The black-haired boy with green eyes was surprised to see my girlfriend, and of course he hugged her, leaving everyone surprised but me. He told Rias his name. His name was Zach. Rias' childhood friend. Rias had told me a lot about him. He had a childhood similar to mine and Irena's. Just removing the kiss part. What a day! First my brothers come back and a friend of Rias returns. What a day full of surprises. After that we spent many moments together. After so much time, I thought I would never see them again, but they were here. It was the best moment of my life. That's what I thought. One afternoon when I arrived from the academy, I found Rias and Haru talking. I hid to hear what they were talking about. What I heard left me in shock. Haru had confessed to Rias. When I heard that, I froze. My brother wanted my girlfriend and I was not going to allow that, but before I interrupted, Rias told him that she could not be with him because she belonged to me. She was my girlfriend and future wife, but he continued to insist that he break up with him, but Rias denied everything and left, leaving my brother alone. I was calm and relieved to hear that, but not for Haru. He said that she would belong to him no matter what. Over the next few days I received some internet insults that I was a rapist and useless. I was shocked to see that. At the academy, everyone looked at me dirty, my friends ignored me, and the girls stayed away from me. That seemed a little strange to me. I asked what had happened, and they said he had raped Rias and Akeno. I was quite surprised by that. I had never raped girls before. Maybe I'm a pervert, but I would never rape anyone. I was beaten by the boys and girls for raping my fiancés, but I tried to reason with them that I hadn't raped them, but they wouldn't listen until they told me that Haru, Issei and Zach had told them. I was in complete shock upon hearing this. My own brother and friend had betrayed me. I left school to go home, only to collapse unconscious. From that day on, my life changed. I woke up in a black room. I was tied to a chair, and in front of me was a screen. I tried to free myself, but it was useless. I tried to use DxD's power, but it had the same result. The screen turned on and showed several images, one that said trust, a square spiral, the word duty, the American flag, the word love, and one of a happy couple. The images were repeated until they reached an image of an eye, the word fear, a person killing someone, the word lust. The images were repeated over and over again until the image of two groups of people arrived. The days went on and on, making me look at the same images, making me look. Of course, they had taken DxD from me and given him to someone, until my brothers and Zach arrived telling me that it was a plan to take Rias and the other girls from me. I was paralyzed and angry because of that. I wanted to kill them with my own hands for trying to take my partners. Until my partners and friends came to rescue me. They tried everything possible to free me and they succeeded, but that led to our friends Kiba, Gasper, Sarorg, and Saji dying. My beloved Rias, Akeno, Kaneko, Asia, Zenobia, Irina, and Roswise died to let me go and telling me that I was the best man they had ever met. The only thing I did when I was free was go home, but I saw it was destroyed. They said they killed someone close to me. It was probably my parents. I decided to leave the place and never return, but I didn't believe I would come back again to get revenge. POV Issei end. Now Issei was seen looking at Core Academy at night. The strangest thing was that the lights were on, and strange noises could be heard. After so much time I have returned to Core, but I didn't think the first place I would go was the academy, said Issei seriously. Remember, that place must have clues as to where Haru, Issei, and Zack could be, said a female voice behind him. There was a black-haired girl with red eyes wearing a black uniform. I know Akane, but coming back here is remembering what happened to me, Issei said seriously as he walked to the back of the academy. Well, leaving aside your objective is Sona Citri and her entourage who joined Zack because they threatened her and her family, said Akane. It would be to leave. Issei was walking around the academy courtyard until he heard some moans. Issei went to the place where the moans were and saw a group of boys raping two girls. They penetrated them roughly through the VEA and through the anus. Damn, I'm humming, said one of the boys, and they came on the girls' private parts, who were shedding dry tears. Oh, since Zack arrived at the academy everything was great, said a boy standing up. Yes, we can have sex with any girl we want, even with adults, said the second boy. This should be so that women satisfy the needs of men regardless of their decision, said the third boy. Long live Zack-sama, ha ha ha, laughed the fourth boy. They are a nuisance, I must kill them, Issei said as he picked up a piece of glass and… Knock knock knock. The chestnut hit the gym wall, attracting the boys' attention. Did you hear that? Said the first boy, and everyone nodded. According to Zack, there are people snooping around the academy, and we should kill the one who is snooping, said the second boy. I'll go kill the intruder, said the third boy as he left. If she's a woman, leave her life for you know what, said the first guy, smiling in a perverted way. Yes, I know, ha ha ha, said the third boy to go where Issei was. The chestnut tree was hidden in a dark corner where no one would see him. Issei watched the boy who was walking around the courtyard until he came to the conclusion that there was no one there, and he would leave without realizing that Issei was behind him. Well, it seems he escaped, said the third boy, and Issei just looked with a gloomy look. Finish him, Issei whispered, and then jump on him, grabbing him and surprising him. What the hell? He couldn't finish because Issei stabbed his abdomen over and over again until he drew liters of blood and killed him immediately, but not before cutting him upwards. Die, damn dog, Issei whispered to touch again, but not before carrying the corpse. That noise again, said the first serious boy. Do you think he's okay? Said the fourth boy. I'll go see if he's bucking the sniffer, said the second boy as he went to where Issei and the newly dead body were. Okay, where are you? If you're bucking without us, we'll beat you into a coma, said the second boy, and Issei was just hiding. The second boy would turn around and Issei just walked towards him stealthily. TSK, he must be… He couldn't finish because Issei stabbed his neck, drawing a jet of blood, and stabbed him mercilessly in the abdomen until he moved it all over his body, taking out a bit of guts. "What an idiot you turned out to be," said Issei to hide and make the noise again. "That noise again and they still haven't come back," said the first serious boy. "This gives me a bad feeling, I'll go," said the fourth boy as he grabbed a wire bat. The boy was looking everywhere while Issei was hidden. "Go ahead, don't be afraid, darling. I know you're afraid of having hex, but when you feel it, you'll be delighted and you'll never leave my manhood," said the fourth boy, smiling in a perverted way, not knowing that Issei was behind him. "Come on, gorgeous, come too." She couldn't finish because Issei attacked. Issei stabbed the boy's private part from behind, cutting him and then falling to his knees. Issei stabbed him in the head and then sighted his face and reached his neck and broke it, causing the boy to die. "Thanks for the bat," Issei said, grabbing the bat. "I'm tired," said the first boy to go. "What the hell?" the boy shouted upon seeing the corpse of the fourth boy. "I must tell." He couldn't because Issei appeared behind him. Issei attacked with the bat, knocking the boy back and then hitting his right ribs, then smashing his head with force, causing it to explode immediately. "Ha ha ha," Issei laughed, and then walked away. Issei broke one of the academy windows to enter without any problem. "I'll grab the bag just in case," Issei said seriously and then heard people enter the room. "You see, Ruruko has been great by all the students of the academy," said the boy, and Issei just got serious. "Yes, that girl really doesn't get tired of bucking," said the second boy. "Hey, I think I'll go get the girl," said the first guy. "You seriously never stop bucking," said the second guy. "I'll go, are you coming?" said the first boy. "No, I have to go before my parents get suspicious," said the first boy. "Okay, I'll see you the other night," said the first guy as he left. This academy is the best, nothing can spoil it," said the second boy calmly without knowing that Issei was behind him with the bag. "Die," Issei whispered as he put the bag on the boy. The boy choked and tried to remove the bag, but Issei held it tightly. The brown-haired boy began to hit him in the abdomen, and then hit him in the face and finally ahead, but in the face, breaking his nose, leaving him unconscious or dead. "Thanks for the razor," Issei said, smiling sadly, and would take the razor. The brown-haired man opened the door, and they soon heard the moans of the girls. Issei secretly saw several boys penetrating the girls and women, either vaginally or anally, and he even saw them insert vibrators into the girls' and women's private parts. "Kya. It's very inside. Stop, it hurts. Already, let me go. Please stop." These were the girls' comments pleading with the boys, who didn't listen and continued with their sexual activity. That scene didn't affect Issei at all, until he saw a boy standing in front of him penetrating a girl. "Come on, hitch, moan," said the happy boy. "Kya is so inside, you're going to break my belly. This is the best, I finally got to buck Momo-chan, it's the best day of my life," said the happy boy while he bucked Momo like crazy without realizing that Issei was behind him. "Kill," Issei whispered seriously as he cut the boy with the knife. "Ah!" the boy screamed as he felt a large cut on his back. The boy turned around and then Issei cut his chest, causing jets of blood to come out, then cut his neck, causing a geyser of blood, and give another cut to his face. He would stick the navel in his neck and finally kick him, killing him instantly. Issei saw Momo, who was covered in semen all over her body, and her private part was expelling him just like her mouth. "Give me more, please, I want more in my pee, anus and mouth," Momo said with a silly smile. "You disgust me," said Issei seriously before leaving. Issei on his way killed every boy that crossed his path, no matter where they looked at him, until he found a certain duo of perverts. "Ha ha ha ha, it's the best thing that's ever happened to us," Motohama said, laughing. "Yes, we finally got to catch the girls from the student council, my dream come true," Matsuda said happily. "The vice president's face is very hexy, as are Tsubasa and Rias," Matsuda said. The bad thing is that the One-Samus aren't here," Matsuda said disappointedly. "I wanted to buck Rias senpai and Akeno senpai like crazy," said Motohama. "Just like the other girls in the occult club," Matsuda said. Damn, Issei didn't deserve to be with them. The worst thing is that he enjoyed their bodies and we didn't, Motohama said, disappointed. Anyway, I'll go to the bathroom, Matsuda said as he went to the men's bathroom. Issei, hearing that, just put on a gloomy face and approached Motohama. I wish this was Rias-senpai and Issei so he could see how I'd buck Rias-senpai while he watches. Ha ha ha, Motohama laughed, not knowing that Issei was behind him. Issei cut Motohama's private part with some ropes. Who was it? Motohama shouted and saw Issei. It can't be I. He couldn't finish because Issei squeezed them harder, causing jets of blood to flow from Motohama's testicles and pee. Then he was on his knees in front of Issei, and the brunette cut off his head, causing a geyser of blood. Damn inferior being, leave my girls alone, Issei whispered as he entered the men's bathroom. My shirt is black, just as my soul is black, Matsuda sang while washing his hands. I hope I can have hex with Sona-senpai next time, Matsuda said, then looked in the mirror and… Hey, a girl? Matsuda said in surprise when he saw Akeno. He turned around and saw Issei. Wait, Issei, he couldn't finish because… Issei cut off his private part with a rusty saw. Wait, Issei. He couldn't finish because Issei was cutting his neck very fast, causing liters of blood to come out, staining the bathroom, and ended up cutting his head. Goodbye, Matsuda and Motohama, said Issei seriously, looking at the corpse of his former friend. Now for Sona, Issei said as he left the bathroom. Chapter 7. To relax after so much blood and death. In the underworld. An elevator could be seen rising. In the elevator, a chestnut tree and 4 demons were standing. The elevator doors opened, letting Issei out, and inside were the demons with disgusted faces, some of them letting out their breath. That was me, Issei shouted at the group of demons with the crazy face and left the place. Hey Security, how about watching a mecha series after we're done? Sigvaria said to the brown-haired boy. Anything so I don't see your face, said Issei, walking, leaving Sigvaria with a confused and angry face. Hello Issei Hayadu, Serorg greeted Issei. Get off the steroids, Minotaur, you sure get angry so easily, Issei shouted at Serorg, who was confused. What's there, Security? Greeting glassy Labelas. Hello, you are not important to remember, Issei said, upset. Hello Issei-chan, Seraphal greeted Issei. 8th grade syndrome, Issei said to Seraphal, who was confused. Security, one of the guards said to Issei. Don't talk, Issei said as he went to another elevator. But he wasn't alone, there was also Grafia. Issei without hesitation looked at Grafia's body from toe to chest. Hello Grafia-san, Issei greeted first. Hello Issei-sama, Grafia said to the brown-haired boy. You came at Searches-san's request, said Issei. Yes, as Queen of Searches I must be by his side, Grafia said seriously. The good thing is that nobody stopped me, said Grafia. Well, maybe because you have big grapefruits, Issei said without a doubt, and Grafia was surprised. I mean, her breasts are huge, Issei said, and Grafia had a very serious and cold face. BBB, well, I want to squeeze them, Issei said without hesitation, and Grafia had a threatening look. Mom TCT, said Issei, and in the elevator there were knocks. The elevator doors opened, letting out Grafia with an annoyed face and a brunette with a swollen face and a sore body. That idiot Azazel, he told me that nothing would happen to me, but he lied to me. I'm sure that lazy guy is having fun while I am suffering, said Issei, crying while being watched by everyone who looked at him strangely. Hiatus, said a voice behind Issei. By Lucifer, shouted the brown-haired boy in surprise as he hit himself and fell again. Oh, are you okay? The girl said. Yes, student council president and the board, said Issei, and Sona was surprised. What? Sona said in surprise. Well, You know, don't say anything, come with me, Sona said as she went with the brown-haired boy. You know what I called you for, Sona said seriously. Yes, to see who of the 3 faction leaders is the best leader. If not, they will go to the trash and replace a better one, Issei said without a doubt. Well, tell me what you think searches Sama, said Sona seriously. Good vibes, honorable, someone with good charisma and a good future, a good leader, but he's a first-class siscon, Issei said, and Sona twitched an eyebrow at that. And Miguel Sama? Said Sona. He's just like Searches Sama, only he's a closet siscon, Issei said, and Sona only sweated a drop. And Azazel Sama? Said Sona. Issei breathed heavily as he grabbed his face. Ah, he's a wretched, pensive, pompous, belligerent idiot, complete trash with no value, figuratively speaking, Issei said, sweating. Okay, I think you should come with me to where the others are, Sona said, and Issei followed him, making funny gestures. Sorry to interrupt your meeting, Hayate Issei has already given his opinion, said Sona, looking at the faction leaders. Oh, how good Issei-kun, said Searches. Let's hear his words, said Miguel. I hope Issei doesn't cause any problems, said Azazel seriously. Well, Hayate, what do you think of Azazel-sensei? Said Sona. Issei just sighed and had a tense face. He's a wretched, pensive, pompous, belligerent idiot, complete trash with no value, figuratively speaking, Issei said, sweating. A silence fell in the room. The cadres, Seraphim, and other mouths looked at Azazel, and then Ajajaja. Azazel started laughing like crazy, and the others did the same. Ha ha ha, this is the funniest thing I've ever heard, your great Issei. I love your sense of humor, now with Penemu, said Azazel, pointing at the purple-haired girl. Ah, spinster, Issei said without hesitation, and everyone started laughing, and even the girl who insulted. Seriously, why can't she get a boyfriend? She's probably like Rosweiss, crying like crazy and telling her prince to come, Issei said, and everyone started laughing. And you, Barakiel, you are a first-class masochist who surely wants to get his ass whipped, said Issei. You have an old face, Issei said to Shamsiel. You are an albino cow, Issei said to Gabriel. You are a cheap copy of the Joker, Issei said to Delio. Flea-ridden black dog, Issei said to Tobio. Watermelons, Issei said to Graphia. 8th grade syndrome and cheap copy of magical girls, Issei said to Seraphol. Nerd, Issei said to Ajuka. And everyone here is a bitter old man, Issei said to everyone present. An ironing board, Issei said to Sona, who was annoyed and surprised. Everyone started laughing like crazy, and Azazel came over. You are a very funny dragon, Azazel said to the brown-haired boy. Yeah, we look like cucumber faces, Issei said, laughing, and everyone laughed. Ha ha ha, the brown-haired boy laughed in front of Sona's face, who was upset. The brown-haired boy left the room while laughing and fell on his back. It's been a while since I laughed like that, Issei said happily with a blushing face. Chapter 8, Issei Psycho. Issei's POV. Hello, my name is Issei Hayate. My name sounds familiar, right? If you answered yes, that's fine. If not, I know it's fine. It doesn't matter. So now, who am I? I am a successful man obsessed with competition and material perfection, who uses the most expensive men's cosmetics, gym equipment, tanning beds, and other aesthetic machinery to achieve an athletic and well-groomed body, a material identifier of social success. A successful life with a top-notch body and a possible position as company president. If it weren't for certain people who screw up my life, you'd wonder who they are. Well, I'll introduce you to them. Well, we need an option to increase the company's popularity, said a bandaged old man. This wrinkled old man here is called Danzo, my boss and the one who gives me the biggest pain in the ass. He feeds off the efforts of businessmen to get credit and rise to president. There's a rumor that he has contact with organ trafficking, my hated enemy. What if we increase our sales of products to 60%? Said a damn blue-haired man. This boy is called Shinji Matu, eldest son of the Matu family and supposed future Hihi. This wretch with attitude is the same as this old man, a parasite that feeds on others to survive. He has stolen jobs from several employees to rise in position. They even say that he abused his adoptive sister, my archenemy. I think that would cause problems at the company, said a brown-haired boy. His name is Shinji Ikari, the most cowardly of the company, a first-class faggot because he always cries at anything, Despite having a girlfriend, he has never made a move on her. According to him, because of traumas from his past, someone should take him to a psychologist. Then you have a better idea, said a blonde in a suit. This beautiful woman is called Julieta Juris, an employee who has lived her entire life at work, divorced her wife to follow her dream, abandoned her parents, and gave her newborn son up for adoption, all to stay on top of the company. Well, I can't think of a new idea, said an orange-haired girl in a suit. This cute girl with a sweet appearance is called Seryu, a former police officer who should not be fooled by her sweet personality, since inside her hides a sadistic and crazy girl thirsty for justice. The reason why she was fired from the police is because of her violent methods of capturing criminals. She has killed 20 thieves and 10 serial killers for justice and for fun, and thanks to that she was fired and hired at this academy. Some men tried to flirt with her and ended up in the hospital. I never talked to her for my own good. How about we make a new product? Said a man with glasses and a half-bald head. This man is called Sho Tucker, an employee who has been in this company for 10 years. Despite having a calm face, inside hides a vile parasite that will not hesitate to sacrifice someone in order to achieve his goal. Once he ordered someone from the company to be killed. The family of that employee was murdered, all because of this piece of S. And what would our new product be? Said a black-haired boy with blue eyes. This guy's name is Yukiteru. Like Shinji, he's a crybaby, a good-for-nothing who spends his time on his 70s cell phone. He's a faggot and a crybaby who never makes a move on his girlfriend, who is beautiful and ended up separating from her. What a waste to really leave a woman. How about a new gym product? Said an orange-haired girl. This girl is called Karino Kosaka, the youngest here. Despite having a sweet appearance, by personality is a damn girl who will not hesitate to hit any boy to keep the credit of others. Once hit an employee, and she hit herself to see that the employee had hit her, and then keep the money. Damn, takes advantage of the law of mistreatment of women to keep the money of others. Well, I don't know if your opinion counts, said a black-haired boy with black eyes. His name is not important, but if you are interested, his name is Makoto, a first-class womanizer. He slept with his friends' mothers and aunts, even his girlfriend's mother. A first-class bastard. That's a great idea, Miss Karino, said a little red-headed hitch. This last girl is the worst of all, an unimaginable BA who will not hesitate to blame anyone to achieve her goal or use her social status. Once she blamed my best friend for raping her. The lawyer I hired was paid by the damn hitch, and my friend ended up in jail, damn it. And you know what's the worst thing is that they leave me on site as if I don't exist. I want to torture them to death, punch a chainsaw through their crotch, decap them with an AXE, grape the girls to death, or have them graped to death by a 6-foot-tall black man, urinate on their corpses, feed them to dogs alive or dead, burn them alive, and many other tortures. I wonder if anyone thinks the same as me? I never thought that day would come. I am the happiest person in the world, ha ha ha. My first victim will be Makoto. Half an hour later I invited him to my apartment to celebrate. According to him, he had slept with his friend's sister. We drank like crazy until he got drunk and I was about to plan my plan. So you slept with your girlfriend's sister, your girlfriend's mother, and your girlfriend? I said to get into a certain and put on a raincoat. Yes, you must feel it, I feel good, said the drunken womanizer. Rich? This is rich, I said to turn on the speaker and listen to some music. Very good rock and roll song, one of the best songs I've heard, and it got a lot of parodies, I said, dancing like crazy. Ha ha ha, it must be a very good song, said Makoto, drunk. While I was distracted, I grabbed an axe. You know, many men would think of you as the bucking master for sleeping with the entire family, even the otakus, but let me tell you something damn hormonal. Having sex without a condom can give you incurable diseases, so I'm not going to let that happen. Hey Makoto! I caught the womanizer's attention, and he was surprised because I had an axe and... I yelled to cut Makoto in the back with my axe. He screamed in pain and I pushed him to the ground, and a pool of blood was on the ground. He tried to scream, but I stabbed him in the chest, causing large amounts of blood to come out while he cried like a baby. Now this is rich, damn it! I screamed, continuing my work until I stopped and looked at the corpse. I cut off its arms and even its head. I took off my raincoat to leave it on the ground. I killed that idiot Makoto, now for show, I said, smoking like nothing and ignoring the scent of the corpse. 2 days later, I managed to get into this bastard's house under the guise of planning a new project. What an idiot didn't realize was that I had a knife in my pants. He offered me alcohol and I accepted. Ah, the taste of vodka is delicious, said the parasite, smiling. You know, I heard a rumor that you sent an assassin to kill one of the employees who was going to be a manager. Is that true? I said curiously, and the parasite just smiled. And if it's true, after all, it was going to be a nuisance for my plans. Besides, even if they had proof, they'd never put me in jail. The man said with the same smile, and I just smiled. So it's true, I said with a big smile. Yes, it's true. If you tell anyone, I'll kill you, he said with a sick smile. Not if I do it first, I said with a big psychopathic grin. What? He remained silent when he saw that blood was coming out of his mouth and his abdomen was bleeding because I stabbed him with my knife. He vomited blood and fell to his knees. You'll wonder why I did it, but first let me tell you that I didn't do it to avenge the death of that businessman's family. I did it because you, Makoto, and the others are a nuisance to my plans, so please die, I said with a sweet and tender smile, and he was terrified by that. He ran and escaped from the room until he reached the door. He thought he could get rid of me, but what he didn't realize from the beginning was that I had locked all the doors, and I had their keys in my pocket. The only thing he could do was run. He threw objects at me like vases and lances of armor. Did I mention he had a hallway full of royal knight armor? Due to the injury, he couldn't throw well until he reached a saga and locked himself in. The only thing I did was grab a spear and break the handle, making the door open. I saw how the parasite was scared and wanted to cry. Please no, I'll give you anything: money, prostitutes, and great social status, he said while bleeding out. Ha ha ha, I'm sorry, but like I said, you guys are a nuisance to the plans and I'm not going to allow it, by show, I said with a big smile. Then I stabbed the parasite with the spear. I did it again and again. The blood stained on the metal felt so good, the smell felt strong. I was about to retreat, but some footsteps stopped me. I saw a dog walking in the darkness. He was licking his owner's blood. I killed the dog without hesitation and left that parasite's house with his corpse. Now you're next, Seryu, I said, licking our lips. Kia, leave me, stop, it hurts so much, Kia, screamed the crazy girl of justice while I penetrated her and blood came out of her intimacy, implying that she had lost her purity. 2 days after I killed Sho, I invited the crazy Seryu to drink. I put a drug in her, and she fell asleep immediately. I took her to my apartment, took off all her clothes, tied her hands and feet. I groped and licked her whole body like a dog until I decided to steal her purity, and I did it without hesitation. Her interior was really tight and warm, it was the best. Sometimes I thought that I should use her as a hex slave, but my goal was to kill all the parasites in the company. It feels so good, I said as I continued my work. Damn, you'll pay for this, I'll kill you, he said, looking at me with a death glare. I'm sorry, but that won't happen, I said to stab Seryu's legs. Ehahaha, it hurts, stop, I screamed in pain as I stabbed her. Their screams were music to my ears. I'm humming, damn hitch, I said, increasing the speed of my thrusts. I don't do it, not inside, I don't want a damn rapist to get me pregnant, said the girl while I continued with my work. Take it all, I said as I came inside her. Kaya, there is so much inside me, I screamed as I filled her with my seed. She ran out of strength and cried dry tears. Damn bastard, when I get free I'll kill you, said the madwoman of justice, looking at me with hatred. I'm sorry, but it will never happen, you know why, I said, grabbing my axe. She was scared when she saw me with the axe. Because you will die, I said, smiling like crazy, and blushed. I cut off his arms with a single cut, and the blood stained the bed even more. I cut his abdomen like a crazy mental patient. This can't be happening, I lost my purity and they killed me, what did I do to deserve this? The hitch cried while she bled to death. Maybe because you're crazy, I screamed to cut off his head, and his head rolled on the floor and tears fell. Now it's your turn, Karino, I said with a big psychopathic smile and took a spiked knuckle out of a drawer. The next day, I walked until I saw Carino. She was talking to an unknown man. She gave the excuse that he had hit her. Many looked at the man badly and the hitch smiled. I took advantage to take her without anyone noticing. "You're still blaming men to keep their money," I said as she smiled. "So what if I did it? Men are nothing more than dogs. Women deserve to be above men. Besides, it's fun to take advantage of the law against the abuse of women to keep men's money," she said with a confident smile. I just smiled at that and walked over to her. "You know what?" I whispered into the hitch's ear. "Suck my ball," I said as I hit Carino's abdomen with all my strength, pushing all the air out of her. Pwag. She vomited blood. She saw that her abdomen was bleeding and I had my knuckles stained with blood. "Damn," she said angrily, and I pulled her hair so she couldn't escape and hit her in the same place. Drops of blood flowed out of her and stained the floor. She spat blood and cried like never before. "Just die!" I shouted as I punched him in the face with all my might, causing him to spit out more blood. She fell to the ground and I hit her in the face with all my strength. I spent 10 minutes beating her and saw that her face was swollen and her forehead was split open. I checked to see if she was dead, and she died immediately. It felt so good when I beat to death a religious fanatic, a group of guys who were planning to kill a girl for fun, and a damn homophobe. It felt so good to kill them all with my bare hands. "Now go on, Yukidaru," I said with a psychopathic smile. 3 days later I invited the faggot Yuki to my apartment. He was a little drunk, while I looked for my axe. "The floor smells horrible, the walk until I get to my room." He saw the corpses of Makoto and Seryu. "What is it?" said the faggot in shock. "You discovered my secret," I whispered behind him, and he was shocked. As he was about to turn around, I strangled him with some very thin threads. He tried to free himself, but it was no use. I choked him harder until blood flowed from his neck and stained my face. Until I decided to break his neck, killing him instantly. "Now go on, Shinji," he said, smiling again. After my murder plan was completed, I went to the streets of Tokyo at 11:30 p.m. to go to a bar. According to the employees, Shinji goes to bars to get drunk. I went to the bar they told me about and found Shinji drinking. Luckily, I had a trench coat covering my body, a big hat, and dark glasses. I waited for the bastard to leave. 30 minutes later, he left the bar drunk and went to an alley, unaware of the dangers that lay ahead. I took a sledgehammer out of my trench coat and hit it at the exit of the alley. When he came out, I hit him in his horrible face. Ayahak, I screamed like a little girl seeing blood in her house and her half-swollen face. I hit him again with the sledgehammer, and then gave him another one on his leg, breaking it in a second. Then I continued with the arms, the other leg. He got up to escape, but I hit him on his chin, breaking it in an instant. He tried to talk, but it was useless. He got scared when he saw that I was about to hit his face. Without hesitation, I hit him in the head, breaking his neck until his head burst on his head. "Ha ha ha, this is funny," I said, laughing like crazy. "Look at this bastard," I said to pull down my pants and urinate on his corpse. "Fresh out of the oven," I said, laughing. "Now Akari," I said with a big smile. The next morning I followed that faggot Shinji. Until I followed him to the parking lot, without realizing that I was behind him, and I knocked him out with a bat. "How easy," I said with a big smile as I took him to my car. I arrived at an abandoned factory and put his body in an oven. He immediately woke up and saw that he was in the oven. Where am I? Get me out of here!" I screamed, trying to get out of the oven. "Goodbye, Shinji," I said as I pulled the oven lever down and fire started to appear. No, this can't be," said the faggot, smiling forcibly. I screamed as I was burned alive, and I just walked away. I was lucky that the factory was on the outskirts of the city. "Now for Juliet," I said with a big smile. Late at night I was walking around to see where the unfortunate woman was, and I saw that she was leaving a movie theater and getting into her car. When she started her car, I started shooting at her. She saw me and drove off at top speed. I ran to my car and chased her. She dodged any car that crossed her path while I shot at her until she accidentally crashed into a truck. I got out of the car and saw that the driver was unconscious and Juliet was half unconscious, but her head was bleeding. "You," said Juliet, looking at me. "Goodbye, Juliet," I said as I pulled out my gun. "Wait." I ignored her and shot her all over her body until she fell dead. "Now for Danzo," I said with a big smile. After Juliet's murder, I tracked my next to last target. It was Danzo, the shitty parasite. I followed him to the office hallways, into a corridor with no cameras. I grabbed the emergency axe and I started running and he turned around without time to react, and I stuck the axe into his chest. Seeing the axe, he took it away and a jet of blood came out of his chest. "This can't be happening," he said, falling to the ground, and I stabbed the axe all over his body until I decapitated him. "Buck you bucking old man!" I yelled at my boss's corpse. "Now for the last one, Malty," I said, thinking about the red-headed vixen. A week after killing another nuisance, I invited Malty along with another girl named Ray. They entered my apartment without hesitation and drank until they got drunk like crazy. And of course they started kissing until I joined in, and we started having a threesome, the three of us. I looked at myself in the mirror and posed my muscles. At 1 a.m. the fox left me and the other girl while we were in the middle of mating. The girl next to me screamed and spots began to appear. She growled, trying to free herself from me until I finally killed her. Malty saw everything and saw my blood-stained face. Without hesitation, she left the room. She ran until she opened one of the rooms and saw 3 corpses hanging. I screamed until I ran again. He went to the bathroom to hide and saw another corpse and accidentally fell. When she was about to get up, I grabbed her leg and bit her, but she kicked me in the face and escaped immediately. "Bucking Hitch, my face!" I screamed like never before to chase her again. She successfully got out of the apartment and ran. She was screaming and banging on the doors looking for help. While I was looking for her with a chainsaw, I successfully found her. She looked at me in horror and kept running. She was running down the stairs as fast as she could while I was pointing the chainsaw at her. She went down to the first floor and I dropped the chainsaw and she screamed in pain as she felt her back being torn apart until it reached her chest, and she died immediately. Buck you Hitch! I yelled at the corpse of the newly dead body. Finally, the obstacles disappeared from my path. No one could stop me anymore. Chapter 9, Vali against everyone. Moral. Issei, do you know what morality is? "Let me tell you," he said to one of his 2 friends, "morality is for the people who have, for the rich." Boom, Issei. The rich, the powerful and the genius and the poor are the ones who are screwed. Justice. Issei, should I show you my morality? Said Issei, and his friend nodded. Friend, aren't you going to regret it? He said something curious about what he was going to do. Issei, of course not. You're going to get scared. Here's my moral. Morals are this. The brown-haired boy pulled out a gun, not caring that they were in a place like a crowded bar, and seeing his friend tremble. Issei, do you know why I carry this with me? He said, showing his gun, because whoever comes near me in uniform with his morals, he'll have more luck, right? With his justice behind him. But I also have my justice, said Issei, looking at his gun and naming it as his own tool for the morals that there are in the city or in the world. Friend, whether you are wrong or right, it doesn't matter, my friend. This is the story of a humble guy who believed the world was at his feet and claimed to be a miracle, but was wrong when he received the hard blow of reality. It begins in one part of the world. An ancient demon marries a human with the excuse that he loves her. Our miracle, man is born. The grandfather discovers that his son is the carrier of a powerful Longinus, giving the old man fear that he is a threat to the. His father saw him as if his son was the highest in the world, developing a fear towards him because of his great power. Because of his stupidity, he followed the old man's advice. The father began to physically abuse him. But the little boy had someone who gave him hope, his mother who cared for him, looked after him, and fed him. He took the opportunity to escape, but the price was his mother's life. In his escape, he would find the eldest crow being cared for and trained with the goal of killing his father and grandfather for all the abuse. At the age of 13, he met the wolves and the witch with whom he had great friendships, but he did not admit it. By chance, he met the Monkey King, the runaway cat, and two brothers who joined his group, starting the Lucifer team and searching for the strongest opponents, and finding the old man. The Miracle Man finally meets his rival, who is nothing more than a normal student, a reincarnated demon and pawn of a demon. During the raid on the meeting, he confessed that he was working for a terrorist group to fight powerful beings. The man provoked his rival by killing his father to bring out his potential, thus achieving his dream fight, but he didn't expect that his power was based on breasts, but that didn't matter to him. Time passes, the man befriends his rival, his companions have partners, he was adopted at Odin's request, they finally destroy the terrorist organization. They seal the beasts, and finally the man, after a long time. The crow and the old man die to stop the busts. Kills the old man for all the harm he has done to him. But now the man no longer has any goals or anything to do. The cat and the witch are married to their rival. The Siscon older brother is engaged, and the Monkey King followed his family's lineage. He has nothing to do besides kill his grandfather. It was his only goal in life. With the money saved, he buys an apartment and opens a meat business to live. 2 years later, he meets a model who turns out to be a demon. She falls in love with the man, and to avoid ridicule, he deflowers her in a hotel in front of an abandoned factory, but events accelerate. At 9 months, a girl named Lilim is born, but her mother rejects her. The demon abandons him, and he must raise his daughter alone. The years pass and the business barely makes any money. The girl grows up surrounded and locked in silence. Puberty arrives. Her body takes shape, and the single father involved must resist temptation. Just as he must protect her from any pure demon who wants her for her lineage, and not be a baby-producing machine. Then the drama erupts. The young woman has her first bleeding. Frightened by an unknown pain, she runs to her father's business. On her way, an arrogant demon who is a high class tried to seduce her. The rival sees them and separates them to take her. The man, seeing the bleeding on his daughter's skirt, believes she was raped. Her instincts to protect her child awaken, flying to the underworld, destroying the arrogant demon's property, and killing him with her own hands. The man finishes off the prisoner for murdering a pure demon, while his daughter is transferred to an orphanage. In prison, the man began to be abused and learned to survive. To get out of prison, he must give up his Longinus, his faithful companion who has always been with him for years. His companion sacrifices himself and tells him to be happy and recover what he lost. He is finally released but has lost everything. He rejects both of his parents' jobs because he wants to be alone. To survive, he works as a waiter in a bar and becomes the lover of a plateau. He becomes pregnant. And he offers to sell everything to get away from it all and start their lives from scratch. With no other option, the Miracle Man accepts. He goes to visit his daughter for the first time, says goodbye to her, and she looks at him without saying a word. A bitter farewell between father and daughter. The next morning, he leaves Japan with the woman he desecrated, hoping to escape through the tunnel of his existence. They arrive in France and settle in the woman's mother's apartment, hoping to find a roof over their heads and a business of their own. He decides to forget his past. Both his betrayal of his daughter and his love for her. Well, love is too big a word. Few can boast of having known him. That's right, that man is me, Vali Lucifer, and his life is mine, but today I start my life again. France, Lily Department. In a shabby apartment, silence surrounded the whole place. In one of the rooms of the apartment were Vali and his lover, the waitress named Cynthia. She looked at Vali, who was lying next to her. Cynthia, you know my father slept on that side, she said with a nervous smile to lighten the mood, but it didn't work, and he looked at her with disgust. Vali, what do you care? Besides, it's very hot in here, he said, annoyed from the room they were in, but tell me, tomorrow we'll go to the business they mentioned? Cynthia, that's right, I hope you like it. The next day. Vali, I like the place, but don't you think it's too expensive? I'd have to lower the key and rent by 10%. Businessman, would it be in your name? He said, looking at the white-haired man. When he was going to say something, the girl spoke first. Cynthia, No, in my name, she said seriously. The businessman closed the business and then left, leaving the two of them alone. Cynthia, it wasn't a good deal. I'd rather keep the money until after the birth. Vali, but I haven't convinced him. What will we do then? Cynthia, easy. Get a temporary job and earn money. Vali, tisk whatever, he said, walking. After. Cynthia, look, they're hiring a deli counter worker, she said, looking at a job posting. Vali, I work with meat, not sausage. Cynthia, but it's a good opportunity to try something new, she said as she walked. Vali, yes, of course, something new. In the department. Vali, a crappy salami, a crappy wine, and a crappy family in a crappy town. How lucky you are, miracle worker, flower of the new life. And they're so mean, that doesn't surprise me, he thought as he ate, the food tasting a bit off. The next day. Owner, in this place, it's important to smile so customers feel like buying. We're in a supermarket with music and all that, right? Come on, smile, make an effort, he said, looking at Vali, who had a serious expression. Vali says this to someone who has never been able to smile once in his life. Owner, then don't get out of here, clown, he said, and watched Vali leave. Why are you crying and asking for a job? After. Cynthia, they didn't even hire you as a deli clerk? Do you think you're going to spend all day watching TV or something? Vali, no, and if you were less of an idiot and stingy, we would already have our butcher shop, so shut up, he said as he left the apartment. Now Vali was watching TV quietly until his mother-in-law called him with a man. Mother-in-law, here is my son-in-law, Dr. Chokron. Chokron, nice to meet you, he said, greeting Vali, and he did the same. Mother-in-law, we talked about your problem and the doctor recommended giving you night watchman work. Chokron, if you are interested, I'll give you the number of the nursing home and you can contact them, she said, saying goodbye to him. Vali, so the old lady takes me for a nursing home watchman. She wouldn't dream I'd wipe her ass too. At least if I work at night, I won't have to put up with them all day. 2 weeks later. Vali was in a dark room being illuminated by a small lamp. He was bored looking at a crossword puzzle. Vali, it's been 2 weeks since I started working here, and since I was in jail I've never been so calm, enduring the screams of those damn useless old men and desperate nurses. This place, it's worse than jail. In any case, I can't stand those two idiots anymore. They better not think I'm going to let them manipulate me like that. But the fat one has the fly. That's why she thinks she can do whatever she wants. But it's always like that. Everyone defends their own handles. Everyone defends their stake and nobody does it for you. Suddenly I heard someone's footsteps and saw one of the nurses approaching. Nurse, haven't you seen the doctor? Vali, no. Nurse, there's a lady who's choking and I need your help. Vali, well, I'll try, he said as he stood up. The two ran to a room where an old woman was breathing heavily. The nurse tried everything to save her, but her attempts were useless until she heard her say something. Don't leave me, it's dark. The sound of a beep was heard in the room, indicating that the old woman had just died. Death opens no doors. The next day. The asylum window that only reflected sunlight, either of them made a noise and one hoped to break the silence, or with some action. The ex-Hakuroku, the only thing he did was immerse himself in his thoughts. Vali, in the end death is not a big deal. We make so much history, but when we see it up close it is nothing more than an empty lifeless body, like a simple piece of meat. People are like animals, we love them, we bury them and goodbye forever. I'm used to seeing dead people but not her. She seems to be very uncomfortable, he thought as he approached the nurse, and she rested her head on Vali's. There's no need to make such a fuss. Calm down, I'll accompany her home, he would say in a calmer tone. She is pretty, fragile and innocent. Anyone would go crazy if they saw her, and would jump on her, but it won't happen if I'm here. It reminds me of my daughter, Lilim. I'm sure she still feels very lonely, but feeling alone doesn't mean anything. You can live with a guy or a girl, even with your children, and feel lonely. I am alone. And so is she. France, unknown location. Vali walked with the nurse. Neither spoke. They just walked in silence, and Lucifer thought. Vali, we are born, we live, and we die alone, always alone. And even when we have Hex, we are alone, only with our flesh and our life, which is like a bottomless tunnel, impossible to share, and the older we get, the lonelier we are than before, faced with memories of our lives that are slowly being destroyed. These were Vala's thoughts about life. Upon reaching the nurse's house, he left without saying anything and continued walking. Vali, it's weird. Every time I fall in love, I end up ruining a relationship even when she wants me. I feel like she likes me. She must have a boyfriend, they always have one hidden somewhere. Life is like a tunnel and each one has their own little tunnel, but at the end of that tunnel there's nothing, not even a measly little light. That's how it is, nothing in your mind, until your memory is damaged until the very end. Old people know it well, a small life, small savings, a retirement and a grave, and all that is trash. As for their children and parents, they have nothing to give them, they put them in an orphanage to die alone and in silence, but the children don't give a damn. Love is nothing more than a myth. You love your mother as long as she gives you milk and your father when he lends you money, but when mom's breasts are already dry, when your father doesn't have any money in his pockets, the only thing left to do is put them in a closet and hope they die slowly and at the lowest cost. That's the way it is, it's the law of life. Only when there's an inheritance do children pretend to be nice, but when the only inheritance is an ice cream shop or a TV, it's not even worth pretending. Vala went into a bar and ordered some liquor, and he weighed. Vali, just the bare minimum to achieve peace. A call a month, a few tears at a wake, and your duty is fulfilled. Love and friendship are nothing more than a verse made to hide human relationships. They are such miserable businesses. Talking about love and friendship suits us, but by calculation, the reality is much more banal. You love your mother because she feeds you and prevents you from dying. You love your friend because he gives you a job to support yourself. And you love your wife because she cooks for you, empties your balls, and gives you children to take care of you when you're old and you're not afraid of dying, but a single slap to the sun is enough for him to take revenge later. In reality, it's what he deserves, and when he locks you up in a nursing home, it serves as an excuse to hide the shame and disinterest that anyone feels towards their parents, but not me. I don't want that baby they want to force on me, and it will surely be reciprocated. No, bucking isn't worth it, it costs a lot, but it makes you feel like you're worthless in this life. When he finished, he went to a cinema, paid the ticket, and went to the room, and the only thing he saw was a XXX movie. Vala, born, eat, stick a hick in, give life and die. Life is a great void, as it always was and always will be, a great void that could perfectly well continue without me, he thought while watching the movie, but I didn't want to play this little game anymore, never again. I would like to live something personal and more intense. I no longer want to be the last cog in an old machine to restore the Lucifers. The day I die, I no longer want to feel what it is like to live the same nonsense of millions of idiots who crowd this planet. That is to say, the idiot has lived the same as me, although if there was a reason to live another 20 years. If I could start another life, I would wish to never be a Lucifer and white dragon that all the demons want with you for being one, but I would never do it. Rather, I would make XXX movies. At least their things are clear. The people who understand them see clearly. You are born with a hick and you behave yourself. You are useful to break asses. If you are born with a hole, it will be useful to you if you break it well, but even so you will feel alone. As for me, I have one. A miserable one. For women demons it is something lucky, and having it I always let myself stay hard, but with the waitress it is difficult for me to get hard. I even prefer the mother-in-law. I would even do it with all three, but I am sure that those two degenerates would be crazy. The stupid waitress would get hysterical. France's apartment 1 p.m. Vali arrived at the apartment, but his lover saw him with a serious and upset face. Cynthia, the buck with the hitch was really good, wasn't it? She said, screaming in front of Vala's face. Vala, what are you talking about? Cynthia, want me to refresh your memory? The neighbor told me she was walking home with someone. Vala, what is that damn old witch up to? He thought, very annoyed. I don't even know what you're talking about, so don't bother me. Cynthia, girl, I'm tired of you and your stupid attitude, so get out of here. Vala, okay, I'll go since I can't stand the two of them. Cynthia, go ahead, I can take care of the baby myself, she said with a very confident tone. Vala, I'm sure you'll do a bucking good job. Cynthia, but less like the father. Vala, what did you call me, you damn hitch? He shouted angrily, grabbing her neck. Cynthia, you're a bucking idiot. I screamed furiously, trying to hit him. Both of them were angry and grabbed each other's neck or shoulders, trying to get rid of the person in front of them, but the angriest one was Val. Cynthia, I'm going to bust that damn mouth of yours. Val, try it, damn it, you're just a useless piece of shit without me and that baby of yours. I screamed, pushing her onto the couch. Cynthia, damn infer she screamed because she received a knee in her stomach from Vali. Vali, without hesitation, he began to hit his lover's belly where his future son was. He hit him harder than before. Cynthia, I screamed in pain and cried at the same time. Vali continued hitting her belly, ignoring her screams and cries, and he didn't care if something happened to his child. The mother came out of her room because of the screams and saw her daughter being beaten. Jean, I'll go for the revolver, she said, still scared by what she just saw. Vali, I heard her and grabbed her by the neck. What are you doing? Tell me where it is. The old woman was still trembling from what had just happened, and even more so from the screams Vali was making at her. Frightened, she pointed to a small piece of furniture. Vali, you should have said it. BCH. When he said it, he pushed her to the ground. Jean, he crawled to where his daughter was and hugged her to comfort her. Cynthia, Mom, my baby, she said, crying. Vali came out of the corner of the room with the revolver in his hand and saw the girl crying. Cynthia, he killed my baby, Mommy, she cried while being pointed at by the gun that the white-haired man took. Vali, stop crying, that child is nothing but pieces of ground meat, he said seriously and went to the exit. Cynthia, FK. BA. Wretch. Murderer. Crazy. Streets of France. 11:10 p.m. Lucifer ignored the girl's insults and left the place without saying anything. Vali, walking through the dark streets of the place. Those disgusting hitches are sure to call the police. The maid is going to play the victim without taking into account that she always yelled and insulted me and she provoked me first. What the hell am I going to do now? At least that baby won't be born and I'm not going to put up with those two. Better dead than those idiots. The maid must be suffering and better not come back. We have to get on with life and forget about everything. I'd rather fight alone than live with those idiots. I'm going to start my life from scratch in Japan, and if to survive I have to be bad, I will be. Yes, a real son of a hitch. He entered an alley before extending his hand and put on some headphones to connect them to a music player. Vali, the only thing that calms me down, good music, he said to play the music. From his hand a magic circle appeared and without hesitation he entered the portal until he arrived at a small town and went into a bar to get away from his problems, but some drunks began to insult him, and without hesitation he began to fight against them. The music from his headphones became more intense to the point that the entire bar began to fight very intensely. Lucifer left the bar, and then left in a magic circle without anyone noticing. After, I walked through the cold and lonely streets of Tokyo in silence. Vali, new life in this place that brings back bad memories. I wonder how the others are. Of course, if I have a friend in this place or in the world. When you're rich you get a lot of friends who pretend to have some friendship, but they're nothing more than parasites who only want to take your money, and when you don't have money they leave you like a dog to go with another, but when you ask them for something those false friends don't lend you anything. Friendship is nothing more than a shadow hidden beneath evil, he thought seriously, and went into a hotel. Inside the hotel. Vali. He looked at the hotel with some nostalgia. Despite being in poor condition, I still remember this place, the place where I saw her for the first time, my dear wife. How can I forget the unfaithful hitch who left with an old demon for money? When she found out that the bastard was cheating on her, and abandoned her like a dog, she committed suicide. The hitch couldn't stand a loss. The only good thing about her is that she bucked very well. For everyone, a real woman is beautiful. But they regret being born as a woman for putting up with the stupid things men do and having effects that no man will have in their life. Most women are poor and weak creatures. The only thing that makes them strong with a man is committing the act of betrayal with another, especially if he is strong and has money. That's what women are in reality, he thought while looking at the window. I think it's time to go to a certain place. After. Vali, this is how things are, Biko. I left because I felt suffocated by that crazy hitch, he said seriously. Of course he didn't say anything about kicking and hitting his lover's belly. Biko, I told you, Vala, that woman wouldn't suit you. While you have bad luck with women, it's better to be single than to put up with a crazy woman, he said, smiling. Vali, yeah, whatever you say, he said seriously. Biko, oh come on friend, you have to let go for a while. How about we go for some good sake and go to a place where there are girls, he said, smiling. Vali, no, now I don't want to have anything with a used woman. I just want to rest, he said seriously. Biko, well, since you have a home you can stay 1 or 2 days, plus a good lunch or dinner, he said, smiling. By the way, you should visit your old post someday. The owner is a kind person, he said, smiling. Vali, I hope you're not pretending. Damn monkey, he thought seriously. I think I'm leaving here, he said to leave. Biko, it's okay by the way. I'm so sorry about your daughter being alone for so long. Lucifer just ignored him and left. Now he found himself walking in familiar territory. Vala walked through the place in silence. Let's see if that guy gives me a job. He told me that at some point when I'm in trouble I should ask him for help, he said, entering a mansion. Now he was in an office and in front of him was Arthur. Arthur, well, as I promised, I will help you get a job to live on, he said, looking at some documents. Vala, yes, I'm glad you helped me this time. Arthur, well, as I can see, you had a job that went bankrupt some time after you left to jail, he said the last bit awkwardly. Vali, but that was just a mistake. Arthur, you're right. He looked at the documents seriously. Well, you should know that you're not the only applicant, and that's going to give me a lot of work. The best thing you can do is call one of the servants next month, especially when you're an ex-criminal, he said seriously, and Vala got upset about that. Vala, what do you mean you can't? You told me you'd help me in case of an emergency, said Vala seriously. Arthur, I'm sorry, but I can't do that. But because you have no skill in the kitchen or as a bodyguard, I can't hire you, and if my people see that you are an ex-convict, they will start to suspect you when you start doing your job, and people will be protesting that. Vala, angry at being rejected by his partner, gave him a tremendous punch that left him on the ground. Arthur, what's wrong with you? He screamed, upset, on the ground. Vala, you told me you would help me and you failed me, I shouted, kicking Arthur in blonde cover. One of the guards saw them and began to subdue Vala with blows and keys. Arthur, you better get out of here. Vala, you'll pay for this one day, you damn 4 eyes. He shouted furiously, only to be thrown out like a sack. Damn bastard, he said, and went into a doorway. In Co, Vala was seen walking in a correct and serious manner, attracting the attention of some. In his head he thought about the conversation he had with one of his former teammates. Vala, what? A 4-eyed imbecile treating me like that. He must be dreaming, as if he didn't know that his sister left him alone to be with that red dragon so that they can buck him in the ass and thus give birth to a son who will be a complete idiot like his father. All guys like him know that their beloved nephew or niece will be a valuable and presumable object, just like every noble family in England. That's right, beautiful England, my balls. I'm ashamed of that idiot. If he weren't a descendant of King Arthur like his sister, I would punch him and kick him in the head so that he feels my antecedents, but no, being one, you can't hit him for being someone valuable, as if he were a bucking saint or a priceless object, and it must be me who knelt before him. A time in being a commoner and in jail would teach him what reality is, but the rich and the powerful never go to jail. 1 in 10 as an example. Prison is for commoners, the weak, and the poor. When you're powerful, rich, and noble with a legendary lineage, everyone is on your side, even the law. But if you're weak and poor, you have no rights. They just trample on you and tell you you're the most pathetic thing in the world. Every day, these sons of hitches, protected by power and a legendary lineage, stick you where you hate the most while you put on a fake smile. Of course, I can't smile. But if they allow me revenge and shame, because that's the only thing that amuses them, guys like the old man Rias would amuse them a lot. Maybe I should follow the old ways of being a demon, like killing him or being arrogant with him. If that's what I'm going to do, I'm going to teach him what violence is, true violence. The 50 years of humiliation that faggot shoved up my ass will last for 6 minutes of physical agony, but I won't even give him time to learn his lesson. His family does have one. They'll cry along with his fake friends. I have no friends, not even in Albion, except my revolver. Lucifer walked silently and a magic circle appeared from his ear. Vala, hey, are you free to drink? he said seriously as he called an old classmate of his. At night, Val along with the person who called him were in a Japanese-style bar. His partner was none other than the Nikomata of his team. Kuroka. Naya, it's been a while since I had a good drink, Naya, said the girl smiling, and how has life been going for you after a long time? Vala. How was my day today? Don't you know how screwed I was when I had to leave my daughter alone? No. Of course not. You were enjoying how that red dragon was destroying you while you were screaming like a cat in heat and that you wanted kittens. How disgusting. He thought, well, he said dryly. Kuroka, what? You still haven't gotten over the fact that your wife left you. It's hard to forget, but you have to get over it, not only for yourself but also for your daughter Naya. Vala. Yeah, sure, as if you didn't know what it means to be left by your wife. But no, you're a woman and that's never going to happen to you. I want to see your face when they leave you in oblivion, he thought, upset. Whatever, as if I cared about that girl. Kuroka. Okay, but look on the bright side, you have your daughter, who is the only thing you have besides Lavinia-san. Naya, she said while drinking. When someday you recover we can go call the others to remember for old times, Naya. Vala. Meet the monkey, the four-eye and the witch? What a good joke, damn cat in heat, he thought and saw from Kuroka's body. Now that I see it very well, this damn woman has a body of 10. Her great curves and that butt of hers will turn on any guy with altered hormones. The bastard in red eats like a king. I should have claimed her as mine when I had the chance, but my past self always rejected her. I wish I could go back in time and punch him for wasting such a treat, he thought, looking at Kuroka, who made him blush anyway. Tell me, how is your relationship with my rival? Kuroka. Excellent, Naya. We always kiss. We have fun every morning and our little girls are the most beautiful thing I've ever had in my life besides Chiron, Naya. She said excitedly. How ironic. Before I wanted someone strong to repopulate my race and make it stronger, but when I met Issei he made me feel feelings that I never had in my life. That's why I fell in love with him, and I will always be faithful, she said, smiling. Vala laughed at what he said last. Vali. Yes, of course, faithful, but when a stronger and more handsome guy comes along, you would surely go with him. Do you know why? Because you are a woman, and you need attention and care so that they don't leave you. Yes, women are like scum. They say they are faithful, but when you take your eye off them, they go with someone better than their husband. That happened to me, she thought. Tell me, if someone better than my rival appeared, would you leave him for that guy? The Nico was left speechless by her former leader's question. Kuroka. No, I wouldn't do it. He's done a lot for me, like reuniting with Chiron and having the family I never had. I prefer that to living with someone who only loves me for my body, Naya. Vala. So what's this? Suck it off. Kuroka. What are you saying? Vala. If you're joking, it's not funny, she said, annoyed. But Vala kept insisting. Vala. I said suck my hock, you bucking cat. He shouted and received a fist surrounded by Tuki that sent him out. Kuroka. This time you crossed the line, Vala. And the worst thing is that you say it to the wife of your friend and rival. Even if you were the last man in this world, I will never accept you. You are despicable, she shouted furiously. He got up immediately to walk and gave a sign not to move and left. Of course Kuroka ignored him and continued walking. Vala. Who does she think she is? I'll go get my gun. Who does that damn cat think she is to talk to me like that? When there's violence, you don't have to run away. With men, you have to confront them, but with women, they run away when someone attacks. I'll show her who the crazy one is. There's no revenge or justice right now, he thought as he walked. After, I was in his apartment and searched everywhere until I found his gun. Vali. Death penalty for the rotten and no penance for anyone, 1 bullet in his head and 1 less parasite, he thought seriously as he walked. He arrived at the place and Kuroka was no longer there because she had abandoned him. Vala. Hey! Damn cat in heat! He shouted while kicking a tree. Don't hide, coward! Fing hitch! Future unfaithful cat! He shouted furiously and left the place. After. Now he was lying in bed in his apartment. Vala. Ha ha ha, damn coward! You know that if you are like this world will devour you immediately. Outside is like a jungle. If you have no strength, you are nothing more than a piece of meat, and then they eat you. It all starts when you are born. If you are a simple slow animal now you are food for the lions, and if you are an ordinary human or a simple demon it is worse. You are born poor like most and suffer the power of others. If you are born rich and with a special power everything comes for you and says they love you immediately pretending that you love them, your wives, your children, friends like they pretend to love you, but when you lose everything, your house, your money and your power, everything collapses in an instant until you become a simpleton. Everyone leaves you and humiliates you when you are poor and need help. The rich take advantage of you and feel more superior. He thought seriously. But I no longer hit rock bottom and I am involved in this role that will never end until I die. This life was put in me by my father and grandfather who was nothing but cowards with airs of superiority, he thought, pointing to the apartment mirror and seeing his father and Rias of him there. Boom. Vali, repeat what you said to yourself, monkey. Biko, I'm so sorry. Boom. Vali then cries and pees like a coward while the bullet pierces that head of his. Arthur, you better go. Boom. Vali, the next bullet is for the cat who said despicable because she changed. Kuroka, you are despicable. Boom. Boom. Vali, after killing those idiots I'm going to commit suicide by killing 3 people who are involved in important beings. They're going to put me in jail. There's no other punishment than being alive in this situation. Because of their morals I'm like this and they crushed me right away. Boom. Lucifer pointed at himself and wanted to shoot but couldn't do it. Vali, wow, it seems I can't do it. Why not? No one will notice my absence, and it would be better for everyone if I disappear. If I can die and leave this rotten world, he said while dropping the gun. Maybe it's because of Lilim? When they come of age she will come out. When she comes out every selfish demon will want to claim her to use her as a machine to make children. I am her father, and I can't let that happen. I brought her into this world and I must redeem it, said Vali, looking at the ceiling, and fell asleep. The next day, the white-haired man looked at his daughter who was looking at the floor. Vali, I told you I was going to see you again, he said with a calm voice. Lilim. Nurse, I hope you have fun with your time, little one, she said with a smile and left. The two started walking and neither of them walked without saying anything. Vali, it's surprising how much she's changed in a few months and I don't recognize her. Maybe she'll soon look like her mother. How bad, but wouldn't it be bad to know her future? Who knows? If the underworld found out, many guys would rack their brains just to have our lineage. Now the two were on a bus, and no one was talking. Vali, I'm sure if she trains both of her powers she would be the strongest of all, but what am I saying? Tonight I will no longer belong to this world, I know that, but she doesn't. Life goes by so fast, and in the end nothing ever happens. It seems she's scared. Has she noticed? You know we're going on a very, very long trip. Just you and me, you agree, right? Now the two were in Vali's old apartment. Vali, I haven't been here for a while. Sometimes I wonder why she's changed so much. Maybe the orphanage did something to her. No, aren't all women there? How pretty she is. She has a better body than her mother's. Should I bathe her like before? No, I'm risking that nonsense. The gun? Yes. The gun, she shouldn't be afraid, he thought before leaving. Vali took out his revolver and stared at his daughter. Vali, our time in this world is over, he said, taking off his white shirt, while he watched his daughter take off her sweater. What we had to do is done, and it wasn't as beautiful as we thought. It's time to leave this stupid and cruel world now that I have nothing to lose. That's if I do this, it's for your own good. If you live, several demons will come for you to be a dumpster, and I don't want that. Wait for me on the other side if there is one for us, he said, looking at himself in the mirror. Without hesitation he shot his daughter in the neck, causing her to fall to the ground in agony. Vali, I did it at last, I did it, but he saw his daughter still alive but breathing with difficulty and a pool of blood on the floor. Lilim, she was breathing with some difficulty because of the bullet in her neck. Vali, why doesn't she die now? Don't you want to leave this world quickly or what? I should have used a knife, it's faster. I also killed Rias of him and he died instantly. I should have done it, put the blade to the jugular and make a quick movement. But how agitated she is, she's suffering, I can't stand it. With those I've fought it was easier. Wait, why am I doing this? I don't understand. She thought, pointing at her daughter's head, suffering. A force greater than mine made me kill her in the same place I created her. That's what I'll say in court. Wait, what court? Damn it, I'm going to kill myself. Now I feel dizzy and confused. I must finish her off. I have no right to vomit next to her. She's suffering. I just have to pull the trigger and that's it. Damn it, if I put another bullet in her, actions are irreversible. If I put another bullet in her, she'll rest in peace, but I won't have any for myself and that unfortunate noble. The arrow always goes in the same direction and never stops. This is good versus evil. You must choose. You move a finger at someone and they die. You must choose. Boom. Vali shot his daughter again, dying instantly. Vali, mistakes are not corrected, they accumulate, but death is not a mistake, it is the only way out. My daughter is already gone, now it's my turn to leave this world. Blow your head off, under the skin there is only flesh, fat and bones, and I am a piece of meat. What will I be after we die? A baby? An animal? A fruit? They killed my daughter, I can't think like that now. Lilith helped this steak get out of himself. Someone touched my girl and I must kill him. What am I talking about? Good must win, it is my duty. I must undo all traces of my family. It's almost over. I want to see his face before he's like my mother. He killed her. I am the same, an orphaned and unemployed human demon. She was evil. Shoot that man. Because of the ancient demons my family went to damn ruin. Are you an idiot or what? Evil usually wins. I'd better save this bullet for some of my comrades. If I have to do this, I'll go to jail or be executed. I'll kill good or the other way around, I don't know, so that evil can reign in the world. No. We must eliminate evil. Yes. I'm the good guy here. I must kill that nobleman or the cat in heat or the monkey, not me, a father, a daughter, a gun. I can't believe my daughter is dead. Maybe she won't be dead when they revive her. I'm coming. I'm going, he thought, pointing it under his chin. But he didn't pull the trigger. He was deep in thought. Vali, I won't do it. The only thing I want is to get out of this disgusting rotten cheese that they put in me. I want to get out. God, if you're alive, let me out. Maybe I'm pretending. The cheese is not enough, but the meat, if they are carnivores after all. The worms are everywhere pretending to be good animals. The demons are the very ruin of everything. They are evil. At least they will never touch my daughter if they don't know of their existence. I will save the bullet for whoever dares to touch her. Calm down. I'm going to be with you, Lilim, maybe with the old woman who gave birth to me, and the boar who gave birth to Lilim. We are innocent. Good must win. Breathe deep. I'm coming, daughter. Count to 10. 10. Take our past and love. What will they do with me when I die? Are they going to sell them to any idiot? 9. If you don't pay them, they'll abandon you like a dog. They're all bastards. They should be dead, but I'm out of bullets, and I'm the one who has to die. 8. Lilim is waiting for me. I have nothing to do here, but will come back. 6. I'm going to rule the underworld. For I'll be the new Lucifer for my daughter. 2. I'm going to screw them all. They won't escape. The red button, the void. I'll leave them my remains to never revive again. The void, it's over. Without hesitation, Vali shot himself, screaming loudly. The walls covered in blood painted the room, and Vali's corpse was on the bed, dead, ending his life forever. Oh no? Vali. He looked at her still with the revolver in his hands. No. It's not me, it's my head. I am a good man and I would never do it, he thought while putting away the gun. It's strange. I failed in all my birth, my childhood, my youth, my team, my rival, my loves, my business, everything. I should never have been born, never. I told myself that it was a miracle and a blessing, but now I realize that I am a mistake, but not my daughter, he thought, walking towards his daughter who was looking at him fixedly. I feel like I lived this moment. My mother, the only thing she did in this situation is the white hair. Without hesitation began to hug her with all his strength. The girl was surprised, but she reciprocated. Vali, please don't go away from me. I don't want to be alone anymore, he said while crying, and then let her go. The confused girl hugged him, and he was quite surprised. The hug felt warm for the second time in his life. He felt happy after so much time of enduring everything. Vali, please don't leave me alone anymore, he said while crying and hugging tightly the girl, who did the same. Moral. The man has the morals. The wind from the window was felt on Vali's face as he looked at the landscape seriously. His daughter gave a hug from behind, which Vali reciprocated. Vali, now I know what existence means. When you're here, I'm alive and happy. Maybe it's our last, or maybe not. Maybe I'll never kill. Maybe I'll claim you and go to jail days, weeks, months, years. That doesn't matter to me. Maybe jail is the beginning of the end of the year, and at last I'll always be able to hang myself. It doesn't matter. Even if they lock me up, I'll have this memory of satisfaction and happiness of having fulfilled my wish, and not someone else's. Maybe finally my life would have a meaning. Protect you, give you all the happiness that no one else will give you. You're my daughter, and I'll make you a woman. We'll be happy, and we'll keep our graves a secret. Whether we do it or not, it won't change the course of the world. If everyone decides to reject our love, it's not because it's bad, but because it's too powerful. I love you. Chapter 10. A demoniac film. Boredom and despair. A red-haired man sat on a couch with a blank stare. In his hand he held a gun, and a hand delicately touched the redhead's hand. The redhead washed his face. When he removed his hands, images of him being held by a group of people and injected with a mysterious substance were seen, and his eyes turned red. In the room you could see the redhead named Searches kissing Grafia. In another scene, Grafia comforted Milikas, who was reading, and then changed the three of them at the table eating. The scene changes to Searches and Grafia in bed hugging and kissing until they turned red all over. In another scene, Searches was seen with Kateria talking about a project. Kateria, think about it, Searches. If this movie is successful, you could make a lot of money. Searches, how much did we talk about? Kateria, how much more than 5 million, if you can stand the director's scenes. In a clean room, a picture of the Last Supper was stained with blood until it changed to a picture of a demon in the center of the table. Searches looked at him as if he was hypnotized. Now he was somewhere else and put on some dark glasses. He walked to a building, and suddenly he was in a black room. A retired bucking actor returns to art cinema. Those words echoed in the room where the now Searches was walking while someone was recording him. The scene changes, showing a lit room and several guards were present, and in the center was a king-size bed. Insane director. Someone was telling Searches about his territory in the erotic industry. Director, you are the erotic actor I was looking for during my career in film. You are perfect for my film that breaks the cliché. The scene changes to the painting being stained with blood and changes to Searches being blindfolded. Director, have you ever wondered what the 3 words are that force human beings to become monsters? Searches, no. Director, they are the curiosity. In a room you could see a Ruble holding a knife, and in front of him was a bandaged black-haired girl. He saw the knife and the black-haired girl at the same time until he moved his hand with knife in hand. Instinct. A brunette and a white-haired woman were fighting fiercely, both screaming like animals, and in the center you could see a girl chained up and crying. Creativity. Director, do you know why murderers exist in this world? Searches, I don't know, are you crazy? Director, no, they are open-minded and honest with themselves. Deadly sins. Director, you know in this film we are going to capture the 7 deadly sins in their maximum splendor. Lust. In a room you could see a brown-haired man with green eyes kissing and touching many women. The smell of sweat and fluids emanated throughout the room. Avarice. 2 girls were fighting to the death. Around them there were many corpses, and in the center there was a box full of bills. Laziness. A black-haired man with blonde hair was sitting on a couch drinking and getting high while a purple-haired girl was on his crotch. Sugar. In a room you could see a fat man eating like never before, and behind him was a woman who was crying. Pride. In an alley a boy was seen arguing with someone until he hit the ground hard. Pride. In an alley walked a blond man who had an expression of arrogance and superiority. A poor boy approached him, but he pushed him aside. Ira. In a room Searches was seen with an expression of extreme anger and began to shoot at whoever. In another scene Searches could be seen watching as a pink-haired girl was taken away and she resisted. In another Searches could be seen with a machete, and in front of him was a girl who was screaming, "Come on, liberal, give me more art!" Now Searches ran like never before until he reached his car and started driving. Love. In one scene, a blonde woman was seen walking towards him, and she smiled flirtatiously at him. Art. In another scene, you could see a brown-haired boy with a furious look, and without hesitation he began to shoot. Blood. Searches, still hesitating, hit someone and blood was spreading through the bathroom until they heard gunshots. They injected something into a blonde girl and Searches jumped to a window, breaking it, immediately falling into a bush. The director calmly saw Searches, who was very hurt, and his mouth was open. Director, it's impressive, Mr. Searches, we broke what no one else could, the taboos of cinema. Searches angrily hit the sound of something breaking and everything went dark.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.